Hello everyone, welcome back to the OS World Cup 2021. We've got a pretty spicy match here in Indonesia versus Mexico. I believe it is our fifth match of the round of 32. I'm of course Azer, and commentating with me today is Mr. Will Stetson. How's it going?
Hello. I am doing pretty good. Yeah, this match is set to be, I think, a bit more contested than some people may initially be anticipating.
Yeah, although I think the main takeaway, of course, it's round of 32, so I think a lot of the matches are kind of bound to be one-sided. After all, Indonesia is like seed 5 or something, seed 4. Like they're showing up huge this year, and so they get a little bit of a lower seed as their first match. But this is the first time we're seeing Indonesia on stream, and I think a lot of people are very excited for that after like all the hype that people gave them before qualifiers, and then they play those qualifiers, and then they just live up to all of it, right? Like all of the team has been playing so well.
Yeah, I think that was probably, even though like a lot of the people who are like more into the community tournament scene might have been anticipating this, I think that a lot of people aren't really familiar with the majority of Indonesia's roster, because it's like, with the exception of Lifeline, it's like, you know, number 3 player at some point. But this is going to be, I think, a lot of people's introduction to the powerhouse that is Indonesia.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to be seeing a lot more of Indonesia, and for a long time. I think for the first time, I would say you could consider them like being top 3 contenders. So I'm pretty excited to see them. And what I like a lot about their team as well is that it's very much like a team effort, at least for the time being on the lower pools. There isn't really like a single player carrying them, or like a single player not pulling their weight. And that's like exactly what you want to have like in a round of 32 match, especially, right? So I think they've got pretty good odds for this match. But of course, we also have Mexico, who have been playing OWC for a long time. Here, a lot of the names are the same people that have been playing OWC for, I think, like 4 or 5 years now. You'll see like Wolfie, Hebel.
Yeah, for sure. Hebel makes his return, though. Hebel was not on the team last year, notably.
Also, most notably, Hebel was not played during the qualifiers, so Mexico may be a lot scarier than their seed may imply. I think their seed is, like 27, I believe?
Yes, thereabout.
Somewhere around that. But they didn't have Hebel, which some would argue may be their best player, right? Or at least one of their best players. It could be a key part of their roster. We don't really know, and I think that the thing is, Indonesia probably doesn't really know either. So might have a couple of surprises.
Yeah, I think that for strategy, we can probably expect to see Indonesia just sort of like sticking to their strengths. We know that players like Krez are very, very strong on hidden. Tech is like a very, very staple skill set for most of their known players, like Skydiver, Row. And then I don't think we have the knowledge on whether or not Mexico's roster has the depth to match them on that, but we're probably going to find out coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, I actually don't think we're going to be seeing somehow. Even though those players are really good at that, I don't think we're going to be seeing much tech, if any at all. In qualifiers, neither team really showed up on the tech pick. Really, it is like both teams almost their weakest pick and their weakest placement. Of course, Indonesia still has like a pretty large advantage. Like Indonesia, like if you just look at the score differences from qualifiers on every single map except for the hidden one in qualifiers, Indonesia has like a 500k or more score lead over every single map, right? So it's a bit of a monumental task for Mexico to show up to this match. But yeah, they've got to pull some. They have more opportunities, I think, now that the pool is a lot easier and more accessible.
Yeah, I was going to say this pool is considerably easier than qualifiers pool, at least in my opinion. And we also have to consider that Mexico's core like skill set is DT for sure. Like players like Hebel, Riot, and Pundais, and I think Wolfie as well is also pretty skilled at DT. Like they can absolutely take points here if they pick properly. But as we just saw, Nomad 3 going to be the first select. Oh wait, that's a ban. I am not looking at the chat properly.
So quickly talking about bans, because there's some pretty, I think, obvious bans that both teams are going for. Nomad 3 was one of them. So Mexico banning Nomad 3 is a very smart ban. The reason is very simple. Indonesia in qualifiers had the very best score. They had the number 1 score, I think, above just Canada for Nomad 3, almost rocking 4 FCs. I think they had a score of 3.8 mil, which is monumental for a qualifiers score.
I think it was a 4-way, actually. They did have 4 FCs.
The lowest score, I think, was Skydiver at 936, so I don't know if that's maybe a miss at the end or something, but we can say it's 4 FCs.
Yeah.
Like
they're really good at all.
The score difference on that map alone is ridiculous. Like they almost doubled Mexico's score, so it's a very smart ban to go for. Indonesia will go for Hard Rock 1, which that I was not expecting. I would have expected, like we said earlier, the only map that really is close in terms of qualifier scores for both of these teams was Hidden 1, which was only like a 15k score difference. So Indonesia going with something a little bit different, getting Hard Rock 1 out of the way. And Mexico already with the free mod 1 pick. So that's nice. That's something new. We haven't really seen... of course, there's no free mods in qualifiers, so there's not much to go off of here, but like based off of mod performances, I think this is a pretty good pick for them. I think Mexico's game plan is to go for a lot of the simpler picks. And this map, I think, is one of the relatively simpler ones. You don't need to have that many people like tank the mods or anything, right? It's relatively simple for both of the mods as well. So love to see who plays what, but I think you might have a good idea.
Yeah, I do think this is a pretty good pick for Mexico, all things considered. I'm surprised that they're not sticking to mechanics, but I think they're worried because, like, we know that Indonesia also has a very strong mechanics roster, so the consistency may be like not in their favor. But like you said, this map is pretty simple. We can probably expect to see someone like Riot taking the Hard Rock, and then probably Kevstrak taking Hidden for Mexico. And then for Indonesia, I don't really know. I mean, Krez is like known for his hidden prowess, so it's probably expected that he'll be taking Hidden. Either Skydiver or Roe taking Hard Rock would be kind of expected, and then just whoever wants to take Nomad can. I don't know. I mean, this is pretty I think most of this pool is kind of favored to Indonesia, just on the basis that they have more tournament experience, but we're going to find out.
Yeah, I will also say, I think I'm looking forward to what Mexico's picking. You briefly talked about how they're mostly a DT team. The very important detail here, though, is that Indonesia is also kind of a DT team. At least showed in qualifiers, they have the strongest score of any other team on DT1, and I think they have a top 5 score or so on DT2. They're really, really proficient at it, and keep in mind, those maps are much harder than what's available in round of 32, right? So Mexico may not be able to play to what they would like to. I think they might be pulling out a lot of their like secondary things that they may have an advantage of. I'm looking at Hidden and Hard Rock picks specifically. Fremont is a good option though, potentially. So we're seeing a lot of mods here. Actually, 2 Hiddens for Mexico.
Yeah, I'm very surprised by this overmod from Mexico, but they might just be expecting that there's an 8-way, and then if they all FC, then they'll just win by mod advantage, which is not a bad strategy, but very risky on a map like this, especially with Wolfie missing immediately. That is not a good look.
I think it's early enough, and it is the first map, so I think you're bound to get some of those whoopsies sometimes.
Yeah, this is also their first like actual match, so I mean we can expect to see some nerves coming on, and yeah, he has recovered quite nicely. However, still no drops from Indonesia, also all holding pretty solid accuracy. Lowest one on Lifeline with 96 on Hard Rock, 97 actually. But yeah, this map is pretty straightforward. Not too many crazy spikes, so this is more of a consistency test, testing those mod players. But Saint dropping, that is huge. Not going to be good. That is actually really bad. We are halfway through the map already.
Saint was actually holding really, really, really high accuracy as well. I think he was at 99.8 before the break.
He is shaking.
Timing.
Oh man, he seems very nervous. I don't know if this is going to be this is not going to be a good map for him.
Yeah, the damage is already done, right? Not much you can do after that. Kevstrak actually following that up as well. So this is a pretty solid showing for Indonesia, actually, especially on the other team's pick.
Yeah, 3/4 of the way through, and we don't have a drop yet. This might actually be a 4-way coming here. Skydiver is shaking a little bit, seems a bit nervous, but he is on the Nomad, so this is just like by default a little bit easier. Let's see if they can pull out the 4-way, because I think this is just, there's a 1,000,000-point difference. It's just not coming back.
I'm liking this a lot, honestly. Krez is showing. Keep in mind, this is Krez. Technically, his first OWC match like ever, right? So he played qualifiers, but it's the first time being in an actual match. He shows up, getting 600s on this 600 FC. That's pretty monumental. I think all credits to him for, especially on the first map like that. Usually, nerves would get a lot of people, but not for Krez.
Yeah, it's also worth noting that Lifeline did FC with Hard Rock as well with 95. This is, I think, his second OWC, if I remember correctly, but I don't remember if Indonesia got very far last year, so I think I
believe they got 8th, top 8, I believe, so pretty good still, actually, for Indonesia. I think they had a pretty good result. I think we're all looking at them doing better this year.
Definitely.
I mean, clearly, they're showing up to play though. 4-way on the first map though. Very, very, very solid job, and it's their pick now. So we'll have to see what they end up going for. I thought Indonesia might have liked to play a lot of Nomads. I think they're looking to probably play around Prez and Lifeline, who were probably their top performers, I would say, in qualifiers, especially on various different Nomads. They do pull out the DT2, which I also kind of expected. I thought they would have more priority on the Nomads, but both of the DTs, again, very solid pick for them. Even though Mexico definitely has a chance on this, they're pretty good at DT as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it is surprising from Indonesia to pick something like DT, just because, like, yes, Indonesia has a good DT roster, but I think that's Mexico's strongest skill set. So, and in a group stage match, like, if I were Mexico, I would not be even considering the things that Indonesia is, like, really good at, because it's probably safe to assume they'll be, like, FCing most maps in this pool. So you should really try and, like, raise the odds that you will FC everything. Like,
it's always
as much as you can.
Super hard to play against a team like this, though. Like, when there's a pretty, we'll say it, there's a pretty clear, like, disadvantage, right? Like, it's seed 27 versus seed 5, I believe. It's very hard to find the right picks. Very often, the things that you think you are the most comfortable at, like your own strongest picks, there's a good chance that the other team is even stronger at them, right? So, and we're kind of seeing that here as well. DT2, I think a map that Mexico would probably like to play. We're about to find out, hopefully. But Indonesia is picking this, right? So,
yeah,
you kind of have to you have to figure out what you're doing. You have to maybe hope for a little bit the more random picks, right? And we've seen a lot of lower teams go for the typical, like, DT1s, Nomad 1s, the more, like, stable picks that pretty much everybody can play, and just hope that, like, they'll have more random misses than you do, right? I think that's a common strategy that's gotten a lot of the lower teams some points. But
yeah, that is true. Yeah, and because you say that, I think it's possible that we see something like Nomad 1 come out at some point during this match from Mexico, but we're gonna have to find out later. In the meantime, we did have some roster changes. We had in place of Wolfie, we have Jalapers coming in, who I do not recognize very closely.
It is one of the newer players. It's been making a couple waves in tournaments and in regular play, so pretty excited to see him. Hebel as well coming back. First map being played in this World Cup, as again, Hebel did not get to play the qualifiers. So here he is.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how he does. Also worth noting that Vino has come in place of Ro, and then Rexy's also coming in. Both of these players have improved, like, substantially. Specifically, Vino has been destroying community tournaments for the last year. So I'm very excited to see how he does.
So one thing that I really like about the Indonesian roster this year is I said this earlier, they don't really have a carry, and they don't really have anyone getting carried. Like, all of these players are able to just step in on the maps that they want to play. They don't really have to step out of their comfort zone, and I think it like really allows them to, like, shine at the things that they're best at, right? So, like, a lot of their players could probably play everything, right? Like, Ro can 100% play this, Prez could 100% play this, but they make room for these other players. Unfortunately, not working out so well for Rexeasy, though, so far.
Yeah, but matched by Jalapers, that's going to keep us relatively even. Mexico actually winning on the accuracy, just because even with Jalapers, like, continued misses, they are up by about 20k here. But we do see Jalapers, yeah, his accuracy is suffering just a little bit, but the rest of Mexico's FCs are just keeping the score at bay. It seems that Indonesia is still holding very strong, though, with the exception of that drop from Rexy's. And they do have the combo advantage, so they have actually taken the lead back. And it's only going to grow here, unless we see another miss.
Yeah, we're really seeing how much accuracy, like, matters in here, though. A lot of it's swinging back and forth just purely due to accuracy, but it's going to go back in Indonesia's favor for good now, I think, with that break from Jalapers again. Not having the greatest showing. Ooh, Saint as well.
Saint, yeah, that's really bad, too. That is going to just have the score skyrocket, especially now. Like, this is a DT map. This is a 1.2 multiplier, so the score is about to shoot up for all those FCs. Man, yep. Jalapers not having a good time. But we do see Rexy has recovered very nicely. Even though Skydiver does drop there, that score actually is going to start to... Oh, never mind. We do see a double break from Mexico. Hebel and Riot, though, looking pretty good on this.
It's pretty much even now. It's all just pretty much on Vino and Lifeline to keep going. These breaks don't really matter. It's just the 4 players that keep breaking. It's 2 FCs to 2. Indonesia just has, like, a 400k point lead to play with. It's only a quarter of the map left, though, so not much room for error here.
I think this is kind of nail in the coffin status at this point. With Jalapers' continued breaks, I don't even know if they could bring it back with their 2 FCs.
Just one last section here. Yeah, I think the score lead is just too big at this point, but I mean, very respectable showing from Hebel and Riot, and I think when you look at the Mexican roster, those are definitely the two players I think that you would look at the most, probably along with Wolfie on other types of maps. And I mean, they can play pretty well. Like they showed up easily matched Indonesia's best scores, right? Actually getting the best score in the entire lobby, right?
Riot score is very impressive.
Yeah, they've got some fight in them, but unfortunately, just doesn't really happen for this map. But again, like it's not necessarily a bad showing. Indonesia is just really strong.
Yeah, I think that if we are talking about like gaps between maps that are to come, this is probably going to be one of the closer ones. And Mexico is probably, even though they did lose the point, are seeing that like, okay, we can definitely hold our own on this skill set, and it may be beneficial for us to pick it. Maybe we'll see them pick something like Nomad 2, which has like a bit less aim, but it is streamy.
I think we're looking at a hidden 2 pick here, maybe, or maybe the other free mod actually. Which is fairly similar to Nomad 2 at work as well, right? That last free mod is very stream heavy. It's one of the higher BPM ones. Again, I would like to see them play some more hidden. I think it would work out in their favor. Or at least have the best chances to do that.
It's difficult because I think that picking it hidden into just a player like Krez is a very scary decision. Even though he's only one player, like that FC potential is there. Like it's not something you can discount.
Yeah, there we go. So we'll be seeing free mod 2. To answer that though, the thing that's really super important to remember is that it's round of 32. There is no carry potential here. Like the maps are very easy. It's a team at this stage. This is about the team. Your individual players cannot really do anything, right? It's more about who is not able to play these things versus who is playing them well, because it's kind of expected that everybody's playing well, right? So like as we've seen, like there's 2 or 3 FCs on both sides, all of these maps so far. So there's not much that like a monster hidden player like Krez could really realistically do to affect the outcome of this, right? So I think it's just you need the 4 players to show up. And I mean, Indonesia has had their 4 players show up for all the maps so far, looking really good. We're going to be seeing Noose now. A bit of a different pick so far. We haven't really seen any other map like this, so we'll have to see if there's any new players.
Yeah, I am not too sure if we're going to see any more like intense roster changes. I do think Ro is going to come back. Yeah, there he is. Ro back in the lobby. Oh, we do see Dito making his first appearance. I'm very excited to watch Dito play. He's one of the newcomers on Indonesia. This is his first year playing OWC. Known consistency player. Very, very good at stuff like aim and basic streams. I think we will expect to see him take it. I'm surprised we're not seeing Krez though.
Maybe because this is a little bit of a streamer. This does have a couple of fairly lengthy 200 BPM streams, so maybe that could affect it. It's worth noting Dito only has played 1 map in their qualifiers run. It was the Nomad 3 run where they top scored, so they 4-wayed that map, and so I think he technically has one of the highest averages of any player, because his average is like 960k because he played 1 map and FC'd it, right? So far, Dito is not. Well, we'll just word it this way: Dito has not yet missed in the World Cup. So
yeah, one of the best FC potentials, and he is taking hidden as I kind of expected. This is something that is within his skill set, so I'm very interested to see how he plays. Also worth noting that Wolfie is not playing for Mexico on this, which is kind of surprising. Instead, they're opting to take Flame Shock on Nomad. Very interesting. Also, Hebel running Hidden and Riot running Hard Rock. Those mod picks are kind of expected, but still surprised. I'm very surprised that Wolfie's not in this lobby.
Yeah, we've seen Flame Shock. It seems like Flame Shock is a bit of their fill player, I would say. At least in their qualifiers run, he was kind of present for a lot of it. Never really having a moment to shine, but never really doing badly either. So maybe just not having a solid 4th player here. We did see Sync have a really, really good Nomad run, I would say. Like for like about half the previous Fremont one. It was pretty solid, so we'll see if he can redeem himself on this one.
Dito with a very early miss on the hidden pick, but this map is on the hidden, but this map is very short, so even though it's only a quarter of the way in, breaks do matter at this point. And with no breaks from Mexico, they're actually going to take the score lead by about 30,000 points very, very early into this. And they are looking quite comfortable. Saints' AC is a little lackluster, but it's not going to matter just yet. It'll only matter if we see any misses coming from Mexico.
There's a pretty nasty slowdown in here that's been catching a lot of players. Obviously, if they practice it, they can see it coming, but it can definitely...
Oh, Riot with that...
Here it is. Okay, some act drops. No other misses though.
No misses. That's very impressive. But Indonesia does have that combo advantage now with Riot dropping, so they are going to take this back very shortly here if we don't see another break from Indonesia. Which it doesn't appear that we do. Yeah, they're now ahead by about 20,000 points, but this is coming down to the wire. We're 2/3 of the way in. This slowdown is going to start to get some nerves, and there it is from Ro. That's a bad drop. Mexico is gonna very slowly claw their way back into this, and yeah,
the ending can be pretty rough though. It speeds back up, and
Hebel is shaking.
There's not much left, but I mean, like they have to hold it together here. Here we go.
For their sakes, I hope their scoreboards are not on because those nerves are about to kick in really hard here. But Mexico pulling away, but Hebel misses. That's gonna be close.
I think they got it.
I think they have it. I think they have it.
It's so close, actually.
Oh god,
there's a couple of really.
Oh, just don't miss. Don't miss. Don't get 100. Nope.
Right.
And Mexico is on the board. Let's go.
Nice. I like their game plan. They're picking the free mods. They're out of free mods now, but I mean they come in pretty strong for both of them. The other one was pretty close. It's pretty good that they can get a point here. I think they definitely needed this. We really have to wonder what they go for next, though. If free mod was their priority, well, they've exhausted that, right? So now they've got to dig into a couple of the mod pools. We'll be seeing that next, though. I think next pick is Indonesia. So
yeah, I think we might expect to see I think here we might expect to see no mod too.
It's still pretty early on, so they've got a lot of choices, and of course for a team like Indonesia that's super well-rounded, they can probably just pick anything, really.
Yeah, that is true. Maybe they'll do the song strat. They'll just decide, what's the song I like the most? We're gonna pick that.
Noah 2 is a good choice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Noah, excellent artist. But if we're talking about if they're sticking to what they're initially going with, they'll probably pick something like VT1, just because it is a faster map, much more mechanically demanding. Even though it is only round of 32, I think that they might be trying to abuse Mexico's consistency, but we will see. They do have a few more seconds to pick here.
1-5, okay. So this map was not really a style of map that was in qualifiers at all. I'm a little bit surprised by this one because it is quite similar, I would say, to the last map, more or less. It's pretty speedy. I think this clocks in at 240 BPM. This is a map that most people are going to be familiar with, though, that have been playing tournaments. This has been used in, I think this was originally made for Corsair's 2020 and has been used in a lot of tournaments since, like a lot of tournaments.
Yeah, this was in Time Skip Trials this week, actually, in Hard Rock.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid map. It's pretty straightforward, but it's a bit of a mechanics check, right? It's 240. It's got a lot of bursts. The streams are not too long, but most notably, I think it's also really short. It's under 2 minutes, right? So you've got to hit those.
Yeah, it's incredibly short, and it's also pretty awkward, I would say, for a No Mod 5. Zelk is not known to be a very conventional mapper. This is it's by no means like an easy map to read. Like you need to be very, very concentrated to play this. And I don't think we'll be seeing many swaps. We do see Lifeline coming back in place of Dito. Dito is not the fastest player, so that does make sense, and we all know Lifeline.
You definitely want Lifeline in for like all of the no mods. He's been basically their top performer for every single no mod pick, right? And I think
I'm so happy about that.
Lifeline. I mean, he's what, like rank 3, right? Like Lifeline definitely has like the highest skill cap as well, right? So like any of these maps that are more simple, you can expect them to be consistent on.
Yeah, absolutely. His tournament redemption has been very, very like motivating to watch this year.
A lot of people were discrediting him last year because solo play does not translate very well to tourney play, and he just decided to shut everyone up and showed up huge in so many different tournaments. It's very nice to see that, like you said, a little bit of a redemption. So.
Yeah. And starting this out, though, we do see Hebel missing. This is also a very short map, so any miss is absolutely catastrophic. But Ro is going to match him, even though he does have the accuracy advantage. So Indonesia is going to be keeping the lead by about 50,000 points here. Already, though, we're like halfway through, and there's not too many drops. So I think this will come down to the wire if we see any misses from Indonesia.
Yeah, it's really short. So again, it's just about keeping combo. You miss one pattern, and it has a big impact here, right? So
Yeah, you can tell Skydiver's tensing. At the end of that pattern, his cursor was shaking incredibly hard. Yeah, this is a lot of snap aim as well, so it's not just a speed check. However, both teams actually looking to have recovered. They have recovered like very, very well, and Mexico actually has a combo advantage. So towards the end, they might actually take us. Oh, but no longer. Hebel with the drop. That is going to be horrifying news for Mexico. And Indonesia's just going to start to pull away from this, especially with the accuracy just looking unstoppable right now for Indonesia. Every player over 99, but Skydiver does drop. I don't think it's going to matter, but especially with Riot dropping as well. But very impressive showings from both teams on this map. I did not expect to see both scores hitting almost 3-0. Vino does drop, but I don't think there's enough map left for Mexico to take this back.
Oh, no FCs actually.
Yeah, there are no FCs from Indonesia.
Mexico with the only 2 FCs on this map, and they still unfortunately lose the pick. That stings a little bit. But these maps are pretty close, honestly. Like these are really close. You got to give credit where it's due, right? Mexico really shows up on these, especially when this isn't their pick, is also right. So
yeah, I think this is actually looking more and more like I don't know if I want to say winnable, but definitely competitive from Team Mexico. And also, this just does like complement what you were saying about it's not the player performance, it's the team performance. We don't see FCs from Indonesia, but we have 2 from Mexico, but they do lose the point.
Yeah, and the map was so short. I think that middle miss, the first miss from Hebel, probably had a large impact on this, quite unfortunately. But it's just it's the nature of maps like these, man. I don't know. It doesn't last long, but you got to show up for the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, all right. Well, and there it is. They have fulfilled your wish. Hidden one.
I wanted to see this. All right, so I think this is a good pick for Mexico on paper. I mean, I don't really know, but if you just look at qualifier scores and like some of the players that they have, this is arguably their strongest pick. So I think they might have wanted to just put the free mods out of the way when they're more nervous and keep their strongest pick for now. Maybe I'm just wrong and they thought free mods were their stronger picks, but I'm totally expecting Mexico to put up a good fight on them.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be pretty competitive. I know that Kevstrak last year put up some pretty good performances on Hidden, especially in the earlier stages. And we can see if he's going to replicate that again. Notably, this pool did get harder than last year's round of 32, but it's still possible. He does have to... I do remember he had pretty bad nerves, if I remember correctly. So I want to see if that's changed. It has been a year, so it's very possible that he's improved on this. And as expected, we do see Krez come in immediately for Team Indonesia. Their star hidden player. And I think they're looking for a 4th. I would expect Dito. And Dito does come in, yeah. I don't know if Fuma's here.
Well, that's true. Fuma did play a lot of the hiddens. Actually played both of them, both runs, I believe, so...
Yeah, you are correct. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen Fuma yet, but... Dito is like their up and coming talent for hidden, so I do want to. I'm interested to see how he does. Well, hey Puma, what's up, man? Puma gonna be taking the place of Dito, as it turns out. I guess they're probably, if I had to guess, they probably both have like really good scores, and they're just like debating internally who wants to play.
Yeah,
since Dito already played, maybe they're just like, hey Puma, come in.
It's kind of how these early stages go, especially when you're a team like Indonesia and your team plays everything. It's pretty hard to determine who's playing exactly, because you have like, in most cases, like 6 players or even more that can play just about everything, right? So it's very hard to decide who is playing. It's always dependent on who's feeling it, like at this current moment, right? So maybe Fuma had a little bit of a hesitation. Maybe Dito was planning on going in, but Fuma's feeling good, something like that. So
yeah, it's also worth noting that Pundice is in the lobby, and this is his OWC debut as well, I believe. I don't think he played last year, so I'm very interested to see how he does. He's also the pretty good at hidden, surprisingly. He has had a pretty remarkable tournament redemption as well over the last year. But yeah, this map is very consistent, but very, I think, misleading in terms of the difficulty, as we do see Fuma drop immediately there. So Mexico going to take this very early lead in terms of combo, just up about 200.
Definitely looking at Wolfie on the side of Mexico here, definitely their key player. They do need everybody else, but expected to have the top performance on his team for this map. So he's got to show up, I would say.
Kevstrak already shaking a little bit. There's a long break here, so they are looking at the scoreboard. They're probably like, oh gosh, we're winning. We now need to don't let the nerves set in.
The infamous tournament, the tournament break, man.
Yeah. Oh, and Pundice
there it
with
is.
that drop. Yeah. All right. So then Indonesia is now leading by combo just a little bit. They are gonna take this back very shortly here, but you can miss on anything in this map. And we see Saint, but matched by Fuma once again, actually chain missing the stream. Doesn't matter though, because now Mexico is down 2 FCs, whereas Indonesia only down 1. Ooh. And Wolfie with the drop, that is really bad. But it's matched by Vino. This is going to stay kind of even. Oh, but Kevstrack drops as well. Krez and Skydiver now just absolutely destroying this map.
Yeah, Mexico just collapsing there on probably the hardest section of the map here, and I guess this is where the experience comes in. Krez and Skydiver, with all of the things they've done this year in the last, not a problem for them.
Yeah, Krez still also holding 99. I think this is now all but done for. Mexico is just does not have the combo to back this up. Let's see if Krez can pull out this 99% FC, along with Skydiver's inch in there, but I'm not sure if he's going to make it. He needs to SS the rest of the map here. But he is killing it, and he actually gets it, I think. Wow, very impressive. 2 99% FCs for Team Indonesia. Followed up pretty closely by Vino, 600k. Fuma also putting up a respectable 400k. And
those
Mexico,
are 2 really good scores.
Yeah, those are just actually so impressive. I am very, very surprised to see such good scores come out on this.
Yeah.
And yeah, Indonesia now has forced the tiebreaker. Things are looking a little bit grim for Mexico. And it is Indonesia's pick. That was a break point, so I don't know how this is going to go here on out.
I mean, I think by this point, both teams have picked at least 2 or 3 maps, right? This is going to be Indonesia's third. They probably exhausted their preferred picks. So it's definitely not over for Mexico. But I think Indonesia, one of their strengths, especially this early on, is the sheer depth of maps they can pick from, right? Like, they didn't really have any clear like weaknesses or strengths in their qualifier scores. It's very hard to prepare for them, and especially when you're against one of the stronger teams, they can kind of just play everything, right? So
yeah, and you're also talking about they've exhausted their preferred picks, but the a preferred pick for Indonesia is like a fleeting dream for Mexico, most likely. So yeah. It's like it's almost like not even comparable. But I think we are having a little bit of a difficulty here. We'll probably be back in just a moment. I'm not sure what we're going to see Indonesia pick here, though. They did just pick 2 like not very aimey mechanics-based maps in a row, so we might see something like, dare I say it, No Mod 2 get picked, but who knows?
I think this matchup is probably a little bit unfortunate for Mexico. Of course, they would be up against a strong team, but when you look at Indonesia, again, they share a lot of strengths. I think Mexico would have liked to probably play around Riot, who was arguably their best player last week, right? And Riot wants to play DT. You mentioned Mexico also wants to play DT. They want to play around that. They don't really get a chance to do that against Indonesia here, so they've got to pull some weird picks. We'll see if they get 1 or 2 more. After all, Indonesia just gets a chance to close the game out here.
Yeah, I will also say that DT3 is not the Mexico DT, I don't think. I'm not sure if the old style DT is what they're going for here, but we'll have to find out. I don't know the depth of their DT on this. I just know they're very good at speed and very good at aim. Mm-hmm. So they could surprise me. I know Riot is pretty good at just DT of all types, so we can see if the rest of the roster can back them up. We are going to be seeing Rexy's making a return into the lobby for Indonesia. I think looking to redeem himself from the misses on his previous map, but we are going to find out.
I would definitely be looking at their other 3 players, though. If you think about how strong their DT roster can be, it's definitely with those 3 other players, Skydiver, Lifeline, and Bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Showed massive performances, not just in OWC so far, but in tournaments this year. It's definitely their preferred. We're in their territory here, so Rexy's is, I think, a little bit along for the ride. But
he is very good at speed. Yeah, he is not no one to slouch at. He's actually quite good at speed. But we're gonna find out coming in here. I'm very curious to see what goes down.
I would say this map is pretty comparable to what DT2 was in qualifiers. Not as much, but yeah. I mean,
there is some for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely some new territory here, but I think they might have a solid idea of what to expect just based on that map, because that map also did have a fair amount.
Yeah, this map is also pretty short. This is not a 4-minute map by any means, so breaks are already important at this point, especially because there is such a break right here at that first quarter. No misses immediately. It's just an accuracy. Okay, Rexy's missed like 20 combo, but he's basically FCing. Indonesia is winning on accuracy by just a little bit. Jalliper is at a 92%. That is not going to help, especially because he drops his combo. That is going to be devastating, especially because we're already at almost halfway through. And Indonesia is showing no signs of slowing down.
Still not done though.
Yeah, it's by all means not done, but Hebel missing there, not going to help out the cause from Mexico. Still no drops from Indonesia. We're 2/4 of the way in. It's 300,000
okay,
Yeah, we're getting there. No, it's really still not done, but it's still not done. Okay, now it might be done. We are now, yeah, we've hit the slow slider.
It's so hard to play against Indonesia, man. You got to give credit to Mexico. They certainly tried.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They got a point. That's respectable.
And honestly, a lot of their losses were really close, right? So we saw like what a 20k difference map early that they lost, right? It could have had a couple more points on the board, but
yeah, the match score is not at all representative of the fight that they put up. I will say. But yeah, that is a almost 4-way FC, or no, it is a 4-way. No. Lifeline trolling, but
Rexy's as well at the beginning, right?
It's a slider break. It's an FC.
It's 23 missed slider ends. Don't mind the fact that he doesn't have 23 200. Don't worry about it. But yeah, Indonesia, solid performance. Honestly, I think as expected, showed up on many different parts of the pool. Showed that they came here to play, and yeah, I think I'm very much looking forward to seeing them move on in the winners bracket now that they get some different opponents on a harder pool. I think we're all looking forward to see them play.
Yeah, 4-ways, even on a pool of this caliber, are nothing to scoff at. Like, it's so easy to just lose your focus for half a second and miss. So to have multiple in a round of 32 match is actually like quite impressive. I feel.
And of course, it is round of 32. It's no teams are playing for the last time here. Mexico does unfortunately lose this match, but it's not over yet. There is a losers bracket. So they get a chance to keep going and play against some of the other teams that have lost this week. So it's not over for either of these teams. Fortunately, it is a little bit over for us today. That was the last match we've got for quite some time, but tomorrow is a very, very, very stacked day. We've got a lot of matches.
Yeah, they're starting very early in the morning too, if I remember. 5 hours from now, we have Australia versus Norway. That is going to be that's an interesting matchup, actually. I think.
So there's a lot of storylines that you could talk about how a lot of the teams placed in qualifiers. Australia is probably the most notable one, who did not have MREC for their qualifiers, so they placed like 16th, I think, 14th. It's much lower than a lot of people would have placed them at, and it's also a lot lower than they probably play at, right? So Norway, a little bit of an unlucky opponent, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what we call the strategic Smurf, but we will see. We'll see what happens. Norway's a pretty good group stage team and a low stage team, so like, I don't think Australia's. They're not going to have an easy time. So we're just gonna have to find out in about 5 hours from now.
A lot of really good matches after that as well. I think a lot of people are looking at Romania, Taiwan, who would probably be like a quarterfinals matchup or something. Like those are two top 8 teams facing right off the bat. So like, what's happening here? You know, it's
yeah, that's just so unfortunate. We also have Sweden, Netherlands. That's not a joke either. As well as Sweden and I think the Netherlands is also a pretty interesting early stage match.
Yeah, I think by far the next two are going to be the most interesting, though, in terms of how close they are, and I think like the levels of the teams. Just match quality is going to be really high for the next two matches. It's going to be in a little bit, though. It's the action will resume at 11 UTC. It's 5 hours from now, and like I said, there's a very long day of matches tomorrow from 11 UTC all the way to 21 UTC, almost with no breaks. So make sure you tune in for that. Support your favorite countries, and of course, Will, there's another way to support your favorite countries, is there?
Oh, do tell.
Yeah, I mean, everybody can head on over to the store page and grab yourself a nice little banner you can have on your profile that supports your favorite team. If they win, you get to keep it for the whole year. It's pretty cool.
Very interesting.
Hopefully, no strangers to that though. But yes, they are back. Of course, a staple of the World Cups. I think that's gonna be that's pretty much it for us now though. We're gonna wrap things up. Thank you for commentating, Will.
Of course. And yeah, thank you all for watching as well. Tune in 5 hours from now, Australia versus Norway. Be there or be square.